to absorb.
It adapts quickly.
It adapts. Yeah. In my trainings, I've got one quote in the training, right? And that quote says, I have never met a man that says my mind is full.
Come to think of it, you're right.
No, the laptop on my lap now, the memory, there is a limit.
Of course.
So it will reach a time they say my memory is full, I have to delete some.
Exactly.
But I've never met a man that says my mind is full, let me delete some stuff. So it means that if you are a learner, you are somebody who wants to learn, who wants to know, you are always feeding your mind. The mind never says my mind is full. It means that we can feed the mind with knowledge. And the more we feed the mind with knowledge, we acquire skill. And when we go to the marketplace and we practice it, then we harness the skill set to a different level.
Yeah. Because every time you practice, you learn something different.
Yes.
It's called experience.
Experience. Yeah. Right? So learning is the foundational. Acting on what you've learned, it makes it solid, right?
It does.
Yes. Maybe the first day you play table tennis, you realize that you struggle. But the more you do it, the better you become.
Indeed.
Right? Okay. So man Kanungu, he says there is no substitute for skill set in nation building. So skill yourself. I want to rather put it this way, that there is no substitute for skills in building organizations.
So get the skill.
Get the skill. Because without the skill, the organization cannot achieve its goals. And that is why it's important that organizations are always trying to train their staff so that they always harness their skills. It's a very good thing. Why? Because these days things are changing. Technological advancement. The IT guys, I don't even know how they do it. Because these days, the way things are really advancing at a faster rate, what you learned 6 months ago
is obsolete.
It's obsolete.
Yeah.
Right? So, traditionally, the CV you present to organizations is designed to identify your skill set and experiences and how that skill set can fill the role.
You're an accountant. You have X number of years at practice. You've done this, you've done that, you've handled these projects. So you can do this.
Yes. And for some people, getting the job becomes so easy because of the experiences.
Indeed.
Right?
Even as lawyers.
Yes.
Now, I think they measure not necessarily by let's say, how good you are, but by how long you've been at the bar. And then they now look at how many landmark cases have you handled. Say, oh, this is a lawyer who did that case.
Yes.
He must be a good lawyer.
Yes.
Sometimes they advertise and they say, want a lawyer not less than 10 years at the bar.
Yes. Not less than 10 years, isn't it? Yes. So this means your CV is a measure of your experience and the skill set you have harnessed over time, and not the measure of the mindset you carry.
Yeah.
So in Train2Inspire Consultancy, what we are trying to do, that we want organizations to understand, is that we can help them to develop a framework that is also going to test the mindset of people equally the way the CV test the skill set of the people, of the potential employees.
Yeah.
Because there's no mindset bit. There's no framework for that.
Indeed, that's correct.
Yeah, and there are so many frameworks you can build out of to identify the mindset of the person at an interview.
It's the reason why they do scenarios at interviews, isn't it?
Scenarios,
because they want to know how you think.
Yes. and some questions also bring out your mindset, right?
There's a question I like to ask in interviews when I sit on interview panels, and it was to test attention to detail. So it's a very simple question. It talks about a driver moving from one point to the other, and then in the end it says, how old was the driver? You know, I mean, it's very simple. It says that a driver was driving a bus in Kumasi. At the station in Kumasi, he had 40 people in the bus. Then he moved to Nkoko, 2 people got off the bus. Then he moved to Ejuso, another 2 people got off. Then he got to Nsawam, the 2 who got off at Ejuso now joined the bus again. Then he got to the station in Accra. This is the question. How old was the driver? And people always get it wrong, because I'm not asking you how many people are in the bus. I say you were driving a bus. If I won't give the answer. When we get interactive, if you know the answer, please ask. You're giving us a book today.
Yes.
So today won't be the first caller. It will be the first caller who gets the answer.
Who's get the answer right
to this question? Please continue.
Don't make it difficult for people, though. All right. So I love this theory called the human capital theory, right? And the human capital theory proposes that individual skills, knowledge, and experience are economic assets. That is capital. It's money. Actually, your skill set is money. It's what drives money to the organization. Let's make it as simple as that. A very good skill set can drive so much revenue to the organization. A very bad skill set is rather going to drive money away from the organization.
That's true.
Right? So the skill set of your staff is revenue generating. That is why you can have one person in an organization. He can bring about 1/3 of all the sales compared to the whole team. Why? An asset to the organization. Why? Because he's got a very good skill set, right? So organizations invest in employee training and education to improve what? Performance and returns. Definitely, if you harness the skill set of your staff, the end product is that performance is going to be high, and you're going to get what? A good return on your investment. There is this one I love so much, and that is the diffuse model of skill acquisition, right? And this one talks about acquiring what? Skills from the stages of acquisition, from being a novice, advanced beginner. You go to the stage of being competent, proficient, and expert, emphasizing how experience and learning affect what? Skill set. So when you talk about the novice, when you start, right, what happens? That is harnessing your skill set. As a novice, it means that you learn the basic rules and instructions. Often relies on what? Guidance, right? So when you look at those who go to medical school, right, they don't just start cutting human beings. They start cutting rats and frogs. That is the novice stage. Because if you give those people the opportunity to cut human beings,
they'll cut.
They'll cut, isn't it? The human beings will cut. Then you get to the advanced beginner, that you start applying the rules in real situation, but still need support. So that is where even when you are cutting the frog, you will still need what? Support and guidance. Then you get to what? Competent. That is where you are able to even just give injection. You can do some basic surgery here and there. If there are some pimples, big pimples on somebody's face, you can just cut it and do some small minor surgery. Then you go to the proficient. That is where you understand context, makes informed and intuitive decisions, right? Then you become an expert. So there are stages in skill set that you can develop to an expertise level, right? I just did the video and I put on TikTok, and I think I also shared it on WhatsApp. And I said, when somebody starts driving and the P is at the back, you see them holding the steering, right? Over time, they can drive without holding the steering. I'm not saying that is a good thing, but what I'm trying to say is that over time, you become good in what you do.
Exactly.
I always give an example of Ronaldo and Messi. Messi is naturally gifted. Ronaldo has shown that you can harness your skills from a novice stage to an expertise. Because he wasn't the best, he wasn't that gifted, but consistency of driving that skill set, it has made him one of the best in the world. So when I meet people and say, oh, this thing, I cannot do it, Ronaldo for me is a motivation that you can always build from somewhere and build your expertise.
I mean, another typical example is our medical students, like you said. They go through 4 years of undergrad, and then they now do the housemanship.
Yes.
And then every time, I think it's almost about 8 years altogether or so. Correct me if I'm wrong when we get interactive. But you notice that even when they have passed out and they come to the hospitals, they follow the doctors around.
Yes.
They keep learning. When they have finished, they now specialize. So somebody can be learning for 10 years. They're still learning.
Yes.
So that they can become an expert.
Yes. So what this tells you is that you cannot be sitting down, not feeding your mind, not learning, not going out there and practice, and you think that you can get to the top. Those who get to the top, they harness their skills every day. I was doing a session for PK Amwabin Foundation last Saturday, and I was telling them, you are young people. You are now in the corporate space. I can bet you cannot come and become a CEO of any institution in this country if your mind is hollow. I told them that you guys eat 3 times a day. Feed your mind 3 times a day. Feed your mind more than you feed your stomach. When you feed your mind, do you know what happens? You fed it for life. When you feed your stomach, it's just temporary.
It is.
So for you to get to the top, your mind cannot be hollow and your stomach is always full.
And these days, we're even feeding our fantasy by scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for tons of information. We can spend a bit of that time developing ourselves.
Of course. So there is this thing I like so much. He said it's called the rule of 100. The rule of 100 states that if you spend 100 hours a year, which is 18 minutes a day, you become 95% better than those in your field of endeavor.
Say that again.
The rule
please say it slowly so that we can sink in.
The rule of 100 states that if we spend 100 hours a year, not a month or 2 months or 3 months, a year, which is 18 minutes a day, you will become 95% better than those in your field of endeavor.
But that makes such sense.
But do you know the difference here? The difference here is the consistency of abiding by that 18 minutes.
That's the word right there. Consistency.
And there is no if, there is no but. Yaw, when I started this business, right? I mean, long time ago, right? I was sending motivational messages. I call it Inspirational Wisdom for Today. So my first book is called Inspirational Wisdom for Today. 365 days motivational quotes, right? Yeah, I did it consistently for 4 years without fail. Monday to Friday, by 7 a.m. It's on every platform. I'm talking about consistency. There is no if, there is no but, there's no I'm tired, there's no like I don't feel like doing it, and that is how you win. And so many years, this is where I sit now. Talking is the most cheapest commodity in the marketplace.
Talk is cheap. Isn't that what they say?
But what you do is what brings the difference. So be consistent. This one is not even talking about one hour. It's talking about 18 minutes. Feed your mind 18 minutes. Learn a skill 18 minutes with consistency. And you're going to see the difference. So I'm going to look at core skills that powers business development. And there are so many of them, but I'm just taking a few.
Before you continue, I want our listeners to be a part of this. If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass. We're here with Oscar Bimpong, and we're talking about developing your skill set. I love what he said about the rule of 100. And I think you can apply this not just to what you're doing now, but to everything in your life. And it says that if you spend 100 hours a year, which is 18 minutes a day, doing whatever it is you want to become good at, you will become 95% better than those in your field. I guess it goes to the saying that says practice makes perfect. We take a quick message from our sponsors. When we come back, we get interactive.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass. We're interactive right now. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. Or you can send us your comments on 055 1111997. Just to remind you that today's edition of Masterclass is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, good energy, Goyle. Yenara, Yedia. If you have any motor vehicle of any kind, then Goyle has some great news for you. Good energy brings you Goyle Super XP, the ideal choice for most vehicles. Just go fuel up your vehicle and enjoy the smooth ride with all the benefits. Goyle Super XP is quality and gives you the correct choice when buying regular fuel. Goyle Super XP is fortified with a special additive that gives longevity to your engine and makes your engine perform to the max, using minimum fuel, and it's suitable for most vehicles. Goyle, good energy, Goyle. Yenara, Yedia. Phone lines are open. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. You can send us your comments on 055 1111997. Today, Oscar is giving out another book that is written on the mindset revolution. Last week, he gave out one called The Purposeful Mindset, and today he's giving another one called The Mindset Revolution. And today, it's not just the first person who calls, but the first person who calls and gets my riddle right. And my question is simple. You are driving a bus from Kumasi to Accra. At the station in Kumasi, you have 40 people in your bus. At Ejiso, 2 people get off the bus. At Nkoko, another 2 get off the bus. At Nsawem, one of the 2 who got off at Nkoko joins the bus again. Then finally at the station in Accra, all the passengers get off the bus. How old was the driver? How old was the driver? If you get it correct, you get a book on Mindset Revolution from Oscar Bimpong. I've got a question on comment on social media. This one is from Kuku in Mampong, Ekwapim. Good afternoon, Kuku. How is the race this afternoon? Your comment, okay, it says that, I'm trying to read your comment. It's not very clear. Kuku, if you can just sort of resend. Okay, it says, so with the driver and the passenger question, the answer is 52, because that is my age. Kuku, I'm actually clapping for you in the studio. The question I asked was, how old are you? Because you were the driver. You should see Akofe's face in the studio. Kuku, you have the book, Mindset Revolution, and please get in touch with the production crew, give them your details, and you can pick it up. I've got another one. Leila also sends it and says my age. Leila, that's a beautiful answer, but I think Kuku beat you to it. Thank you so much for reaching out. But Oscar, we have a few more slides to share, yes? So while we're waiting for the phone lines to ring, this one is from Edmond. Edmond says, good afternoon, Masterclass. My question is, what role does mentorship and coaching play in developing competence of people? What role does mentorship and coaching play in developing the competence of people? Do you want to react to that quickly?
Okay, all right. So what is mentorship? Mentorship is somebody that has done what you have done for the upteen time, right? So yeah, if I want to go to Kumasi and you are a driver that has plied that road the last 10 years and I'm going there for the first time, I think you are an expert for me to really ask you, how do I get to Kumasi?
Show me the ropes.
Show me the ropes, right? You can even show me where the dangerous potholes are, where the police are hiding, which areas that I have to be careful and all that. And that's who a mentor is. So that is why when you go to an when you get a job, look for a mentor, somebody that has already done it. And I think one of the things these days is becoming a challenge that people don't have the humility to learn from people. They think they know already. But trust me, you cannot know better than somebody that has been in the industry for so many years. So find a mentor. I think Ghana, one of the mentors that we always have is pastors and prophets. They are, apart from that, we don't have mentors. I do sessions and young people don't have mentors. Who is my mentor? You count 70%, they are pastor. But you should have a mentor in your industry. You should have a mentor in finance. You should have a mentor in marketing. You should have mentors in different areas of your life. We are not saying the pastors one is bad, but you should have different mentors in different aspects of your life.
Different aspects of your life.
Right.
I've got another one. This one is from Gideon O'Day. Gideon, you didn't tell me where you're reaching out from, but Gideon says, Oscar, once again, you're nailing it. Building the right skill set and being persistent and improving on what you have is what makes one grow in a career. Hopefully the younger generation especially will take this seriously. Always proud of you, mate. Keep impacting. That's Gideon O'Day.
Thank you, Gideon.
Please keep your comments coming. We're interactive right now. Numbers to call 0302216541. Please pick up that phone. Give us a call. By all means, let's share what your experiences have been in this conversation on skill set. What skill set do you have? What experience did you have learning that skill set? How has it changed your circumstance since you learned it? Pick up that phone. Let's share the information and let's all be a part of it. Okay, Kuku says, can you please send me the number to the production team? Kuku, the number is 0302-216-541. Okay, 0302-216-541. When you call, just say you are Kuku. You are the first person who reached out and got the answer correct for the riddle I gave. And then they'll take your details.
And Kuku, as your age is 52 years, I guess probably you have children. Let your children read the book.
Okay.
Because the most powerful legacy can leave your children is not inheritance of physical things, but a mindset that is developed that I'm going out there into the world and win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Numbers to call 0302-216-541. Or send us your comments. Keep sending your comments on 055-11-11997. Yes, please. Let's go ahead.
All right. So some of the skill sets to power business development. One of the areas I really want to talk about is the sales skill set, because every organization, the fuel needed for that cash flow is sales. And for me, just yesterday I did a session for SIC Life, their management team, on sales mindset, building a sales-oriented mindset for business development. And the whole ideology is that majority of the people must go out there and bring the money. Because that is what fuels the organization.
Of course.
That is what makes the organization run, right? So sales is something that is a skill set that must be harnessed by the organization on a consistent basis. Then,
yeah, go ahead.
digital skills, right? These days we are living in the digital world, right? We are here in Accra and people are watching us across the globe. Why? Because we are living in the digital space. So the digital space is a skill set that now organization must also harness to maximize their potential. Why? Because I met a young guy who is doing e-commerce and is selling across the globe, but he's sitting here in Accra, right? Using the power of what? The digital skill set that he has acquired.
You can reach everywhere.
Yes. Yesterday I had a meeting with him and he was just he had orders from Canada and US and all that. So skill set is very, very important. Then marketing and branding knowledge is also very important. Marketing and branding knowledge is very important. That is understanding the customer needs and value propositions and your ability to craft compelling brand messages and campaigns, right?
Just before you continue, I've got a comment on social media. You didn't add your name. It says, good afternoon. How do you deal with the pull him down mentality at the workplace? He goes on to say, we're in a competitive world and no one wants to coach the other for the fear of making the other better. I wish I had your name, but thank you for reaching out. Oscar, do you want to react to that quickly?
So the pull him down syndrome, right? The PhD, right? I think all these things are brought up based on the culture of the organization, right? I always tell startup companies that you need to be very careful because the culture you build at the initial stages, that is the culture that is going to happen in the organization. I did a training for a startup company and there are only 5 staff, right? The first day, 3 of them were late. The second day, the same 3 people were late. Now the CEO, and don't think because they are 5, they are not doing well. They are really doing well. But it's a lean organization. And the 5 is efficient for them to do what they have to do. So the second day, I told the CEO that this lateness, if you are not careful, to become a culture. Because if you employ the next person will come in, and these people will go on break, and they take extra 30 minutes,
and
that newcomer is going to see it as normal, because if they are doing it, then so now you started building a culture from year one.
Hold that thought for me. I've got a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon. I'm Nana. I'm calling from Hacho.
Good afternoon, Nana. How's Hacho this afternoon?
Rainy.
Rainy afternoon. Thank you for reaching out, Nana. Talk to us. You're live on Joy.
Okay, so what advice would you give to new businesses on pricing?
Right.
Okay, yes, because I've realized that it's killing a lot of us.
Right.
Especially where you pick the goods from and where you sell it is quite a distance sometimes.
Right.
It becomes difficult when you are pricing it.
Right.
So what advice would you give?
Okay. Nana, thank you so much for reaching out. Just keep listening. Oscar will attempt to answer that question.
Pricing is a broad topic. And the question is...
So I suppose his question is, I mean, he knows it's not a pricing conversation, but he's asking that, since we're talking about mindset, how should we approach that question? If you can do that in 30 seconds, I've got another caller on the line.
So pricing depends. Is it a service? Is it a product?
So let's assume it's a product.
Yes. If it's a product, then you have to put value on your product, right? What is your cost? What is your cost price? What margin do you think you can put on? What is the price in the market?
Right.
Right? And your location.
So go for what is fair. Don't do supernormal profits.
So for example, water at Nima might sell for 5 cedis, but the same water at Accra Mall might sell for 20. So it's a whole lot of factors you have to consider before you come to...
Right. But I suppose that it's safe to say that cover your cost and do...
That is the fundamental.
And do what is basic. Don't do supernormal, because that becomes unfair. I've got another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name, where you're calling from.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon. You're live on Joy. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. I just say from tonight, man.
Ajiman, how are you doing, my brother?
It's okay, normal.
Is it raining in Tama as well?
It is drizzling.
It's drizzling, okay.
Yeah.
Ajiman, talk to me.
I think you are giving us lectures, university standards, that you are not doing anything. God bless you.
Thank you,
Ajiman. Thank you for reaching out.
And I could see that with the ability to do something, the mindset can draw you back. So if you have the ability without the mindset, a good mindset, then you'll be a failure.
Yes.
Right.
Your guest talked on football, using Ronaldo and Messi, for example. And I see it to be a perfect example, because if a player like Messi is holding a ball at the edge of the penalty box, having strong defenders in front of him to beat, and he thinks that when I go forward, they will bring me down, so I have to return the ball so that we reset our possession, then you are going back with your mindset. But when it tells you that even if these two defenders get me down, either in the edge of the penalty box or in the penalty box, it will be at an advantageous position for goal scoring. Then a good mindset is helping you to achieve better.
Wow.
So I think it's a
Thank you so much, Ajiman Joseph. You couldn't have said it better, but thank you. Please keep listening. I've got another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from. Oh, I lost that call there. We definitely want to hear from you. Please pick up that phone, give us a call back. But we've got a comment on social media. This one is Francis from Accra. Francis said, hi, Joy. Please, good discussion. I'm a teacher of 20 years and into in-service training programs for teachers in schools on varied topics. But my issue is schools are not willing now to train their teachers, even at a very good rate of 500 Ghana cedis. What can I do with my skills to make schools see and value the training of their teachers? This is Francis from Accra.
Francis, I think that is what I do. I can coach you to position yourself in another angle, probably, and later we come back to the teachers. We will do some level of coaching, and you'll get there.
So you put your number out for people like Francis who are listening and who want to get in touch.
So the number is 0555 803 924.
Okay.
0555 803 924.
All right. That's all time will allow us. I wish we could continue, but we're back here, God willing, next week to continue this conversation. What's our takeout for today, and what should we look forward to in the conversation next week?
I think our takeout is that skill set is very good. It's very important. Organizations must continue to invest in harnessing the skills of their staff, because as we said, the skill set is revenue. A very good skill set is revenue. So if you harness it, then it means that you can increase your revenue. And one of the things we said was the skill set must go with the mindset, because the mindset is the driver of the skill set. So once there is no driver, skill set will be standstill. Thank you.
So by all means, work on your mindset. But whatever you do, have a skill set.
Yes.
Learn how to do something. There should be something that only you know how to do. People say, I don't know how to do anything. By all means, you can do something.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Oscar.
You're
God willing, we come again next week with
Yes.
another conversation. But this has been Masterclass. If you've enjoyed it, by all means, next week when we get here again on the show, join us and be a part of that conversation. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you same time next week.
All right.
Joy 99.7 FM.
The station with the